Free Comic Book Day is just a couple of days away. But I'll be honest with you, it's not a great day for everybody involved. What if I could tell you, though, there is one word that you can use, one simple word, to make sure that this Free Comic Book Day is the best one ever? Do you want to learn what that word is that's the key to doing Free Comic Book Day the right way? Stay tuned and we're going to talk about it. Hello to all my friends out there in YouTube land. It is your good buddy Philtastic Phil here, and I'd like to welcome you back to my channel. Just as I said in the introduction to this video, Free Comic Book Day is just a couple of days away, and I've put together an easy 4-step guide to make sure that this Free Comic Book Day is the best one ever for you, for your LCS, really for everybody involved, even other collectors. But before we get into exactly how to do that and the 4 steps that I'm going to show you, I'd like to invite you, if you haven't already, to subscribe to this channel to make sure that you stay up to date with all of my shenanigans and hopefully some useful and interesting information that you may find here. And of course, like this video, subscribe, and share. I am almost at the 100 subscriber mark, and of course, once we hit that, we're going to have a special giveaway I've been thinking about. At least I'm going to try to do it. I'm going to wait maybe like a week or so after I hit 100 just to make sure that we stay up there. But you're not going to know if you're not subscribed and if you're not checking this regularly for updates. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the topic. Now, 4 steps in itself isn't really difficult to remember, but just in case you need a little leg up, let's say, I have put together an acronym so that you'll remember each individual step. One magical word will unlock this experience for you and benefit everybody around you with this Free Comic Book Day. That word is peas. Peas as in, well, not the vegetable, not like please, which you should be saying, we'll get into that in a little bit, but peas as in, well, to help you remember it, pissing, urinating. Stay with me. You're not going to pee in the middle of the store, nor should you. The very first step in ensuring your Free Comic Book Day is a pleasant and successful one for everybody involved is preparedness, being prepared, the letter P. What do I mean by this? This is something you can do whether you're a regular at your shop or if you're somebody, again, who just pops in every now and then. Do your research. Find out what the Free Comic Book Day offerings are. You can do this by either going to either publisher's websites, or any of the publishers' websites, I should say, whether it be Marvel.com, DC.com, or even FreeComicBookDay.com. The only problem I found with FreeComicBookDay.com, at least this year, is because of all of the distributor changes and whatnot with DC, I didn't see any DC Comics listed on the Free Comic Book Day website. You can also look for a third-party site, and for this I went to GamesRadar.com and I was able to find all the announced listings for every publisher, Marvel, DC, Image, and everybody in between. So I would suggest that you go to a site like GamesRadar.com, and no, I'm not sponsored, I'm just telling you where I found it, and pick out the books that you're genuinely interested in picking up on Free Comic Book Day. The second step is to be expressive, and by that I mean communicate with your LCS or the comic book store that you're going to visit on Free Comic Book Day. You can do this again whether you're somebody who has a regular box or somebody who just walks in off the street. But the key is to do this in advance. It might be a little bit easier if you are a regular box holder like myself. You can talk to your LCS owner, whether it be a couple days ahead of time or whatnot, and find out what he's planning on getting. If you're unaware of this, although Free Comic Book Day may be free for us, the customers and the consumers, it's not free for the LCS owners. They still have to pay for those comics, unfortunately. And because of that, they may not be carrying the entire selection or the book even that you're interested in, or it may be in very limited quantities. So my advice, if you already have a relationship with your LCS, find out what they're going to have in stock and say, hey, look, if you can you put these books aside for me and put it in my pull box? If you're not a regular box holder, it may be a little bit more difficult. You can call ahead to see if they know what they're going to have, if they tell you, of course. But the onus may be on you to get there a little bit earlier just to make sure you get the issues that you want. The next step to ensuring your Free Comic Book Day experience this year is successful for everybody involved is to practice etiquette, or E for etiquette. What do I mean by this? Well, first, when you go into your LCS, realize that for many of them, this is the busiest day of the year. Some of them have even kind of roped friends and family who don't even work there into helping out. So don't get nasty. Don't get short with them. Don't be mad if they tell you, hey, you can only take 5 comics, or you can only take 1 copy of each, or whatnot. No, that's just not the way to be. In fact, even if they let you do so, I would say only take 1 copy of each title. Because for every extra copy that you take, that's another copy that somebody who really wants it isn't going to get it. I'm fully aware that there are some people who go from store to store and get multiple copies of the same issue just to kind of turn around and flip them later on. Um, it's not something I practice, and it's not a practice that I endorse. If that's obviously what you do, I'm not going to judge you. But again, for every extra copy of, let's say this year, Spider-Man Venom that you take, that's one person who really wants to read that book who may not get the chance. The final step in ensuring your free comic book day is a great one, is my favorite step. It's S for support your LCS. And again, this is something you can do whether you're a brand new reader or whether you're a seasoned vet. See, as I pointed out earlier in this video, free comic book day is not free for everybody. Your LCS had to pay their distributor for those free copies you're taking home. In many cases, they're losing money on this. So in order to combat that, many stores do specials like special sales. I know my store, I think, is doing something like 20% off. Don't quote me on that. I would say call them up and check. Some stores bring in guest artists and writers for signings. Some turn it into full-blown parties with food and everything. If they do, by the way, kind of going with etiquette, just take one. You know, it's not a free buffet. My point is, when you go there, just don't get the free things. Buy something. I know you might be saying, hey, it's free comic book day. I don't have to buy anything. And you're absolutely right. You don't have to buy anything. But I have news for you. If you don't support your LCS may not be there next year. So you may not have a place to go for free comic book day next year. And at the end of the day, if your LCS is having a sale on, I don't know, let's say trade paperbacks, use it as experience either to bolster your library, like mine that I have behind me, or maybe get into a book that you haven't gotten into before. I know one of the things that I appreciate about Image Comics, for example, is that some of their graphic novels they keep $9.99 and below. So if your LCS, let's say, is having a, I don't know, 10% sale on graphic novels, it's kind of a no-brainer. And for less than $10 at that point, you're helping a small local business thrive and keep afloat, especially in this very harsh market that we're all facing. And if you are new to the hobby, or you're a parent just trying to figure out how to get your kids excited about reading, my advice, ask your LCS owner or the people who work at the LCS. Any good store is going to be able to direct you into a story or a title that you may like based on your interests. And to this end, if you're not a regular box holder, but you enjoy Free Comic Book Day, you enjoy the comics and the stories that you're reading, or maybe you just enjoy the films, I would say consider visiting your LCS on a day that's not Free Comic Book Day and pick up 1 or 2 issues. Or, you know, if you're really into a particular character or particular story, open up a reserve box. It's an easy way to make sure that you don't miss out on any stories. And that's whether you're somebody like me and maybe like you who likes to read these stories regularly, or hey, look, maybe you're just a parent or a teacher trying to find something to help your kids actually sit down and read a book rather than look at a screen. Not only are you giving yourself a nice little distraction from the day-to-day or just something to occupy your mind with for a few minutes, but you're supporting a local small business, the backbone of any local economy. I hope that you found some of the information in this video useful, or at least a different perspective to think about when it comes to Free Comic Book Day. And with that, I want to thank you for watching this video and for giving me your attention. I hope that you have a great day, a great evening, and this weekend I hope that you have a great Free Comic Book Day. Thanks again for watching. Peace, love, and comics. Take care.